Okay, children. So today we will discuss environment lesson. Our environment. Okay. So kindly concentrate all of you, and all the notes will be there in the description, children. You can go through the description whenever you want. So coming to the our environment, first topic I have to discuss in the our environment lesson is ecosystem. What is meant by ecosystem? Ecosystem means it is a place where biotic and abiotic factors interact with each other. Biotic and abiotic factors interact with each other. Okay, interact with each other. Biotic and abiotic factors interact with each other. Okay, biotic factors means plants, animals, microorganisms, everything. Abiotic factors means air, water, sunlight, okay, rocks, all these things. Okay, children. And without air we can't live, without water we can't live, without food we can't live, without sunlight, gone case. So we are continuously interacting with the abiotic factors. Such interaction, place where such interaction is taking place is called ecosystem. There are two types of ecosystems, children: natural ecosystem and artificial ecosystem. Natural ecosystem means it is formed naturally, children. It is formed and naturally, and artificial ecosystem means man-made ecosystems. Okay, so natural ecosystem best example is number one forest signal. Okay, oceans, mountains, lakes, ponds, desert, big tree also. Big tree also is an example of natural ecosystem. And in the same way, what are the examples of artificial ecosystem? Zoo, crop, okay, garden, aquarium, fish aquarium, natural life, wildlife sanctuaries. All these are man-made ecosystems. Children. They are parks. All these are man-made ecosystems. Okay, children. They are not formed naturally. This is difference between natural and artificial ecosystem. And in all ecosystems, children, in all ecosystems, all the organisms will depend upon each other. In all ecosystems, all organisms will depend upon each other. That interdependence of various organisms on each other in an ecosystem is called food chain. What is food chain, children? Interdependence. Definitions are very, very important, children. Interdependence. Interdependence of various organisms. Interdependence of various organisms in an ecosystem. In an ecosystem is called food chain. Interdependence is called food chain. Interdependence means one will depend upon other, children. That interdependence of various organisms in an ecosystem is called food chain. Food chain will have basically the primary source of energy to the whole world is sun. From the sun, energy is taken by plants. From the plants, who will eat plants? Who will eat plants?
Herbivores.
Herbivores. From herbivores, who will eat herbivores and plants?
Carnivores.
Omnivores. Who will eat omnivores and herbivores? Carnivores. And at the top of the ecosystem, decomposers are present. Decomposers. This is a food chain, children. This is a food chain. So food chain will have plants are preparing energy for using sunlight. That's why they are called producers. Plants are preparing energy. That's why they are producing energy. No, they are called producers. Herbivores are called primary consumers. Herbivores are called primary consumers. Omnivores are called secondary consumers. And carnivores are called tertiary consumers. Okay, children? So, producers, herbivores, omnivores, carnivores. This is the food chain. Okay, interdependence. This will eat this, this will eat this, this will eat this, and decomposers will eat all the dead bodies. Decomposers will eat all the dead bodies. Decomposers best example what, children? Bacteria and fungi. What are decomposers? They decay and decompose dead animals. They decay and decompose dead and decaying matter. What are decomposers, children? They decay and decompose dead and decaying matter. Okay, decomposers, if they are not there, all the dead bodies will not vanish, children. After some days, if you see dead bodies, they will decompose. Only skeleton will be left out. Who is decomposing them? It is because bacteria and fungi. Okay, children. So, From sun, energy is taken by plants. Plants is eaten by herbivores. Herbivores are eaten by omnivores. Omnivores are eaten by carnivores. Carnivores, herbivores, omnivores, everything are eaten by decomposers. Like this. So this interdependence of various organisms on each other in an ecosystem is called food chain. Okay, some of the important food chains. Suppose if there's aquatic food chain, we should remember children. One example of aquatic food chain. Okay, okay. So aquatic food chain. You have to give. They ask give an example of aquatic food chain, which you should say phytoplankton, zooplankton, small fish, big fish. Zooplanktons will eat phytoplanktons like algae. Zooplanktons means amoeba, like those microorganisms. Small fish will eat zooplanktons, big fish will eat sun. You should write this example, children. If they ask aquatic food chain means you should say phytoplankton, zooplankton, small fish, big fish. Phytoplankton means algae, children, which you see green things on the ponds, lakes, you will see, no? Phytoplankton, zooplankton, small fish, big fish. In the description, I gave very clearly all the food chains. Suppose cropland food chain, crop food chain. Okay, in the crops, grains. Who will eat grains, children? Rodents. Who will eat rodents, children? Uh, Snakes. Who will eat snakes, children? Hawk, hawk or eagle, like this. Suppose forest ecosystem, children. Food chain. Forest food chain. Okay, grass. Who will eat grass, children? Deer. Who will eat deer, children? We can say tiger, like this. Sir, you wrote only three levels, means no problem, children. Three level food chain also will be there, two level food chain, three, four level, five level, six level food chain also will be there, like this, children. So this is some of the examples of food chain. And if I say tiger is eating deer means there is no rule that sir said tiger will eat deer. Tiger's dish is deer only. Not like that. Deer can be eaten by lion also. Deer can be eaten by cheetah also. Deer can be eaten by any other wild animal also, children. Okay, grass can be eaten by buffalo also, cow also, so many organisms. So one organism will not depend upon one only. It will depend upon so many organisms. All the food chains are interlinked. The interlinked food chains are called food web. What is a food web, children? Interlinked food chains. Interlinked food chains is called food web. Interlinked food chains is called food web. What is food chain? Interdependence of various organisms. All the food chains are interdependent upon each other. That interlinked food chains is called food web. Food chain means organism depending upon each other. But tiger can eat any other animal also, no? Grass can be eaten by any other animals, no? This interlinked food chains is called food web. Interlinked food chains is called food web. If you take any food chain, it will be like a pyramid, children. If you take any food chain, it will be like a pyramid. Why it will be like a pyramid means that in any food chain, producers are at the bottom level and there will be so many number. Children, plants will be so many. That's why more in number, so many are there. Then herbivores are less in number. Omnivores are still less in number. Carnivores are very less. How many plants are there? That many lions and tigers will be there. Are you tell? No. So number keeps on decreasing. So that's why it will be always in the form of pyramid. This is called food pyramid. This is called food pyramid. Why food pyramid is in pyramid shape means because at producer level number is more, at carnivore level number is less. As the number is decreasing, it is like a pyramid. As the number is decreasing, it is like a food pyramid. Food pyramid. Okay, children. And as you go up, producers are eating herbivores. Herbivores are eaten by omnivores. Omnivores are eaten by carnivores. Energy increases or decreases? Energy, as you go in the food chain up, energy increases or decreases, children? Energy, energy increases or decreases, children?
Decreases.
It decreases at 10% rate, and that is famously called as 10% law. 10% law, very very important, children. Numericals are coming from this topic. What is 10% law? Okay, children, so I'm erasing the board. Before erasing, just I'm saying ecosystem is place where biotic and abiotic factors interact with each other. Food chain is interdependence of various organisms in an ecosystem. Food web is interlinked food chains is called food web. Aquatic food chain, crop food chain, forest food chain. And why food pyramid is in pyramid shape means producers are more in number, carnivores are less in number. Okay. Next, last, we should know what is 10%. Okay, children. So I'm removing definitions. If you have still any doubt in definitions, children, And in the description, I have given clearly all the definitions, notes, everything. You can read out, children, in the description. Next, what is 10% law? Very, very important. What is 10% law means? When herbivore eat producer, omnivore eat herbivore, carnivore eat omnivore, 10% of energy will be transferred, children. 20% of energy will be transferred. Means what, sir, you get? I will say. Suppose here 5000 joules is there. When herbivores eat plants, they will get only 500 joules. What happened to remaining 90%, sir, you will get to? Remaining 90%, they will use for their metabolic activities. Remaining 90%, they will use for their metabolic activities. Only 10% will be useful, children. Only 10%. When the herbivore eat plant, only 10% energy will come here. 90% it has used for itself. When omnivore eat herbivore, 10% of 500 will come, 50 joules will come. When carnivore eat omnivore, only 5 joules will come, like this. Those who didn't understand, one more example I'm giving. Suppose at producer level, 20,000 joules of energy is there. When herbivore seed produces, 2000 joules will come. Decrease 10. When omnivores eat herbivores, 200 joules will come. When carnivores eat omnivores, 20 joules will come. Suppose you didn't understand again. One more I will say. Suppose 12,345 joules per present at producer level. When herbivore eat produces, you will get the 1234.5 joules. When omnivore eat herbivore, you will get 123.45 joules. When carnivore eat omnivore, 12.345 joules. Like this, you get energy is decreasing at 10% rate. Still, anyone didn't understand. Suppose at carnivore, say you have 6 joules of energy. How much will omnivore will have, children? 60 joules. How much will herbivore have, children?
600 joules.
600 joules. How much will producers will have? 6,000 joules. Like this, children. Like this. Okay, this numericals they are asking, children. Like this numericals they are asking in exam. They will give this or this. They will ask other things. Like this they are asking. You should be careful, children, in exam. Okay. This is 10% law. What is 10% law? Transfer of 10% of energy at each level of food chain. At each level of food chain is called 10% law. What is 10% law? Transfer of 10% energy at each level of food chain is called 10% law. And each level is called trophic level. Each level is called trophic level. What is trophic level? Each level of food chain is called trophic level. To say precisely, the energy present at each level of food chain is called trophic level. The energy present at each level of food chain is called trophic level. Okay, or each level of food chain is called trophic level. What are the levels? Primary producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. Each level is called trophic level. What is trophic level definition? The energy present at each level of food chain is called trophic level. Next important topic, biomagnification. Biomagnification or bioaccumulation. Bioaccumulation. What is biomagnification or bioaccumulation, children? Accumulation of harmful substances in the food chain is called biomagnification or bioaccumulation. Definition I'm writing here. Accumulation of harmful substances in the food chain. Is called biomagnification or bioaccumulation. Any harmful substance, if it enters into plants, herbivores eat plants, so it enters into herbivores. Additionally, omnivores eat herbivores, so it enters into omnivores. Carnivores eat omnivores, so it enters into here, like this. You are able to understand? Any pollutant, like suppose DDT is there, mosquito spray. If it falls on plants, when a cow is eating this, when a deer is eating plants, it enters into deer. When deer is eaten by some snake or something else, a python, it will enter it. When hawk is eating a snake, the deer enters into hawk, like that. So harmful substances keeps on accumulating in the food chain. Harmful substances keeps on accumulating in the food chain. The accumulation of harmful substances in the food chain is called biomagnification. And I already told children, energy, if you see, 5,000 became 500, 500 became 50, 50 became 5. Energy is decreasing. Energy is decreasing in the food chain. Energy is decreasing.
Biomagnification increases.
Very good, ma'am, very good. But biomagnification increases because whatever is present in 100 plants are eaten by 20 goats or 20 cows. Whatever 20 goats it is present will be eaten by 2 tigers or 2 lions. Because number is decreasing, biomagnification increases. In a food chain, biomagnification increases, whereas energy decreases. Okay, the question also they ask the children once, eating plants is better, eating non-vegetarian is better, eating vegetarian is better, eating non-vegetarian is better, means eating vegetarian is better because you get more energy. Of course, the proteins which are present in flesh, non-veg is not available in plants, but eating producers will give you more energy. Why? Because more concentration of energy is present at the producer level. Only 10% of this energy will come to herbivores. 10% of this will come to omnivores. That's why eating vegetarian food is better than non-vegetarian food. In the exam, if they ask, you have to explain using 10% law. You should say, according to 10% law, only 10% energy is present at herbivore level. So producers will have maximum concentration of energy. I'm sorry. So eating vegetarian food is better. You have to explain in the terms of terminology. You can't say I like non-veg, I like veg. You should not say like that, children. Okay. So this is 10% law. After 10% law, biomagnification also over, trophic level also over. So what definitions I told children? First I told ecosystem definition, then food chain I told, then food web definition I told, then 10% law definition I told, then biomagnification definition I told, then trophic level definition I told. These are all definitions I told. Ecosystem is place where biotic and abiotic factors interact with each other. Food chain is interdependence of various organisms in ecosystem. Food web is interlinked food chains is called food web. 10% law means here only arrow. Transfer of 10% energy at each level of food chain is called 10% law. And biomagnification is accumulation of harmful substances in the food chain is called biomagnification. Trophic level means the energy present at each level of food chain. The energy present at each level of food chain. The energy present at each level of food chain is called trophic level. So these are the various definitions we have studied till now. Now after this, children, next go to ozone layer. Last topic, children. In this, if you see ozone layer, it will be over. Ozone layer, children. This is our Earth. Around the Earth, at a distance of at a distance of 23 to 30 kilometers, we have ozone layer. Ozone layer is a poisonous gas layer, children. Ozone layer is a poisonous gas layer. But we will not go and breathe at that layer, so no problem, children. What is the function of ozone? Very, very important. So many board exams they ask. What is the function of ozone, children? It prevents.
UV rays from entering the
UV.
earth.
Okay. So sun rays will have so many different types of rays, infrared rays, okay, UV rays, waves, so many different radiations sun rays will liberate. Infrared radiations is very important, it will heat the earth. But the UV radiations are very dangerous. The ozone layer, what it will do means it will obstruct UV rays reaching the earth, reaching the earth. Ozone layer function. What is the function of ozone layer? It obstructs. It will not allow UV rays to reach the earth. It will not allow UV rays to reach the earth. What is the function of ozone layer? It will not allow UV rays to reach the earth. What happens if UV rays reach the earth? Okay, it is very powerful rays, children. Very powerful rays. It has high wavelength and frequency. High wavelength and frequency. It can cause mutations at gene level. It can cause mutations at gene level, and because at gene level it is causing cancer may occur, and plants may not grow properly, and so many skin problems will occur, and very dangerous, children. UV rays. UV rays, because of its high frequency and wavelength, I'm sorry, it can cause mutations at G level. Because of that, cancer, plants won't grow properly, skin diseases, allergies, so many different problems will get. It's very dangerous, UV rays are. So who is preventing UV rays to reach from the earth? Ozone layer. How ozone layer is formed? At high altitude, children, at high altitude, oxygen is present, no? Due to sunlight and thunderstorms lighting, it breaks up into O and O. It breaks up into O and O, nascent oxygen. One nascent oxygen again reacts with oxygen and forms ozone. Okay, children, this is the formation of ozone. Please remember, children. Okay, now at some places on the earth, ozone layer has got holes. Okay, children. Why this ozone layer holes have appeared? Why hole appeared in ozone layer? Now it is gone, children. But previously, during 1980s and before 1986, there was so much destruction in ozone layer due to use of aerosols, refrigerants, CFCs. This is very important. CFCs, okay, sprays. All this will liberate aerosols, refrigerants, and sprays will liberate CFC. What is CFC? Chloro,
Fluorocarbon.
fluorocarbons. CFCs will go and directly deplete the ozone layer. CFCs, what they will do, they deplete ozone layer. Even jet planes also liberate CFCs. Rockets also will liberate CFCs. What is CFCs? Chlorofluorocarbons. What is CFC? Chlorofluorocarbons. They will destroy, they deplete the ozone layer. So in 1986, United Nations Environment Program, UNEP. They all the scientists all over the world, important people all over the world, they sat and they came to the conclusion that immediately we should stop using the CFCs. We should stop using. If it continuously used like that, all the ozone layer will go and entire human race will wipe out from the earth. They thought, and immediately all over the world they freeze the usage of CFCs. Once they started stopped the usage furiously, and slowly again ozone layer has formed. Now in depletion has holes have become very small, and now ozone layer is in normal thickness. And what is the important function of ozone layer? It will prevent UV rays reaching there. Who is depleting UV rays? CFCs. Who is liberating CFCs? Aerosols, refrigerants, sprays, jets, rockets. All this will liberate CFCs. Okay, what is UNEP, United Nations Environmental Program? In 1986, they were meeting, they decided we have to freeze all over the world usage of CFCs. And from then onwards, in almost all the substances where they were using CFCs, they started using alternatives. And once they banned CFCs, ozone layer depletion has gone, again it started forming. And now, in many places, ozone depletion is not there. Okay, children, this is about ozone layer, very important. What is the function of ozone? They are asking. What are CFCs? They are asking. And this what happens if UV rays reach there? They are asking, children, many times. And once in one more question, they asked, what is UNEP, abbreviate, United Nations Environment Program? United Nations Environment Program. Function of ozone layer, everyone should know. It's a basic common sense, children. You have to know basic general knowledge question, that is. Okay, children. Now, apart from this, we also have another important topic, children: disposal of waste. Disposal of waste. The waste which are formed in our houses, in the factories, in the companies, everywhere, how they are disposed, they should be disposed properly. How they are disposed, children? So there are different ways to dispose the waste, children. First, number one, children, very important. Recycle. If it is possible, recycle them or reuse them, or that is reduce the figure. Next, number two. Number two, incineration. Incineration means burn them and convert them into ashes. Ashes will dissolve in the soil. Burn the thing. So plastic is there, rubber is there, I will burn this. You should not burn them, children. Okay, in some cases they will do the other procedure, but incineration, major things they will incinerate, means burn. And landfills, if ever any organic matter is there, they will dig a deep hole in this, all the organic matter they will put. After 5 6 months, they will be decomposed properly. Then they will be used as manure. Okay, these are some of the important methods of waste disposal. 1 mark question, 2 mark question. Give some example of waste disposal. Means you should give them, children. Write about decomposers. They are asking children. What are decomposers? I already told children decomposers are the organisms which decay and decompose, dead and decaying matter. Dead and decaying matter. Organisms which decay and decompose dead and decaying matter. What are the best examples of decomposers I told?
Bacteria,
Bacteria,
fungi.
fungi. What happens if decomposers are absent, children? All the dead animals, dead bodies will accumulate and they liberate poisonous gases, and it's very harmful, and pollution increases, harmful gases will increases, and so much ruscus occurs, children. Decomposers are very, very important, and they occupy the last level of the food chain. All the organisms after that, decomposers will decompose them. They occupy the last level of the food chain. Apart from this, they are also asking one question, children. The flow of energy in the ecosystem is unidirectional. Producers, herbivores, omnivores, carnivores. Children, flow of energy is from sun, it is going to plants, plants to herbivores, herbivores to omnivores, omnivores to carnivores. Can reverse direction occur, children? From producer, sun will get energy. Yeah? No. So the energy comes from sun to producers, producers to other levels. That's why unidirectional flow of energy is unidirectional. It cannot be gone back. Plants won't eat herbivores and will not get energy. It's not possible. So flow of energy is always unidirectional. Okay, children. And apart from this, sometimes they're also asking children like this. Suppose children, this is producers, herbivores, omnivores, carnivores. They're asking, suppose if one level of food chain is removed, what happens? If all herbivores are removed in a food chain, what happens? They're asking question. Plants will increase. Omnivores will decrease because they don't have food. No, omnivores don't have food, but no one is there to eat plants, so plants number will increase. But omnivores don't have herbivores, so their number will decrease. So you should say the before food chain, before level will increase, the after level of that will decrease. Before level will increase, plants will increase because herbivores are destroyed. Who will eat plants? No one will eat plants. That's why plant number increases. And omnivores depend upon herbivores and plants, but continuously they can't know, so their number decreases. If one level is removed, the one before level increases, after level decreases. Like these questions also they are asking in board exam. Okay, children. So what are the topics? Small sum up we will do, children, revision, and we will complete it up. First, I told about ecosystem. In ecosystem, natural and artificial ecosystems I discussed over. Then I told about food chain. In food chain, I told definition and producers, herbivores, omnivores, carnivores, that different aquatic food chain, cropland food chain, forest food chain. I told. Then I told about food web, where interlinked food chains are called food web. And I told in food chain, energy decreases at 10% energy. And I gave some numericals also. In description, I will give so many numericals you can practice. 10%. What is 10% law? A transfer of energy, 10% of energy at each level. And each level of food chain is called what, children? Trophic level. Each energy present at each level of food chain is called trophic level. And accumulation of harmful substances is called what, children, in the food chain? Biomagnification. Energy, what is happening? Decreasing. How much? By 10%. Whereas biomagnification increases in food chain. Biomagnification increases in the food chain. Why it increases? Because number of organisms keeps decreasing. How many